Hello, hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hello. Hi, my friends. If you know anything about this channel, I'm trying to stay away from typical love readings in general. However, I felt since yesterday a really strong call to do a twin flame reading or significant other reading, but I mean really significant, like for a spiritual higher purpose kind of a connection. And that's what we're going to look into, because I feel like at least one of you is in need of a little bit of help, of a little bit of advice there. And also, where are you along this journey? So I'm going to stay with the theme of twin flames, okay? Although I myself started to distance myself a little bit from it. I believe to have a twin flame myself, so I know a little bit about this journey and how it unfolds. It's very interesting once you start to move away and more towards yourself, and once that really clicks and hits. So I want to give you some insight as to where you are on this journey. I'm going to be working with divine feminine, divine masculine. These are energetic terms, not gender terms. You will know who you are within that connection. I'm thinking about divine feminine and over here divine masculine, and it's about the coming together of the two. And in twin flame connections, from my understanding and personal journey, it really is about the spiritual growth and development that is really happening super, super fast in those connections. It is not necessarily a given that despite all the healing that you've been doing or that the other has been doing, that you'll be coming into union. That's not what this is truly about, from my understanding. Again, you may have a different understanding of this. So just so you know the basics of this reading a little bit. For some of you, I had to bring in that feather, and I was really reminded of the Amazon. Like, either you feel really drawn and want to go to the Amazon, or you've been there, maybe you've met there. For some of you, I'm also getting the topic of ayahuasca with that. Let's hop in and see where you are, where your partner is, or your significant other, like your divine counterpart, I want to say, because this is really taking us on a spiritual level. It's not so much 3D, although it can show up as 3D. I want to have a look into the higher purpose of things as well, so you can have an overview. And from what I've been given, this does not have an extended, okay? So let's hop in and see. And I'm not doing a pick a card because I don't have the energy for it. So you really have to apply your discernment here, because the intention here is not to keep you stuck and telling you, oh, this is so close to union, but the intention is to have you accelerate and to have you, to give you advice on your journey here, okay, truly. So you have to use your discernment, since this is not a pick a card, but I feel strongly called to do this since yesterday. Yesterday I did not have the energy, like I said, and today I have a little bit of a throat thing. So what could be one of your topics is finding your voice, because I all of a sudden found myself almost being silenced, and then I fought against it, and I was like, no, I'm not being silenced. I'm going to speak my truth right now. And with power too, but I feel a little bit inhibited in the throat space. So this might have been your journey, or still the journey that you're on currently. No matter who you are, whether you're identifying as divine feminine or divine masculine, let's hop in. I want to start with a divine feminine, and this is who I'm speaking to at the moment, okay? If you feel you're more on the divine masculine side, you just got to wait a little bit and hear in what this applies to your divine counterpart, okay? So let's do divine feminine. I kind of want to bring in the rose quartz with this, the heart. So there's the topic of the heart. This one, yes. No. Okay, so what you immediately have is the 6 of Cups, okay? So there's definitely some past life and also childhood stuff that is coming up here. You came here specifically for a certain purpose, my dear, and you're well on your way to fulfilling that purpose. And that twin flame, meeting your twin flame, I'm going to call it that. You can substitute it for divine counterpart, whatever is applicable to you and you like best. But for easiness sake, I'm going to stick with twin flame. You met your twin flame, your divine counterpart here for a reason, and it was divinely guided and will continue to be divinely guided. Despite union or no union, that is beside the point here, okay? But this is has very much been intended and is a very important point, meeting point in your life, and also in your spiritual evolution is what they're giving me. What else? Continue with these, yes. What else, please, for the Divine Feminine in this connection? What else, please? This one, no. Soft signs. Maybe you were starting to pick up really soft signs in the beginning, not in the beginning of this connection, but just like as you were initiated into the first steps, maybe you received soft signs and they're now giving me this here. Just gotta take care of that card. This woman here. So you may be very drawn to ancient teachings, and also the terms of past life is coming up. So you may have immediately felt a connection. You probably have, if this is twin flame, this is immediate. You would immediately have known, especially as the Divine Feminine, I want to say, as it often turns out to be that way. But there's so much more involved, and that became so clear to you. So clear to you that there was so much more involved in this connection, and this wasn't just a purely physical, purely 3D type of a situation. This went way beyond things, okay? This one, yes. 6 of Wands. Success is indicated here. Yeah, this is in terms of the finding your voice type of a situation, you know, becoming loud about what you believe and who you actually are. There's this element of expressing yourself in here, okay? And really... But this is interesting because you may have felt the need to be in a lot of affirmations at some point in your life, you know, all the positive things, but this wasn't really you, is what they're saying. This has all been washed away, and this is the term that they're giving me, washed away, and substituted for the real authentic you that knows that the darkness and the light go side by side, much as the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. They're giving me the infinity symbol here. They're also walking side by side, much like the darkness and the light. Not to be misunderstood with these affirmations. But there is something way deeper. And this one, yeah. And a different place to manifest from. This is so interesting because they're now giving me the Queen of Wands here with this, and this has become my card of manifestation really strongly. You know, she is so magnetic. You've become so magnetic along your journey here that you quite literally will things into being. Very interesting. Success is indicated, but it may look differently than what you have thought first when you were starting out on this journey. This is really interesting. This one, yeah, past life wants to come in, so we'll work with this. And the Messenger Oracle is staying here for now. Immediately this came out, the Spouse, but that's not your card, is it? No. So we'll continue to shuffle here. I also find it interesting because I'm almost like louder than my energy level allows me to be. So I'm going to speak a little bit more towards how my energy level is at the moment, just so you know. And this is, I believe, applicable to you also. 1 second. All right, there we are. Let's see, Divine Feminine, what do we have for you here with the past lives? This one, yes. Wow, that's a strong one. Imprisonment or slavery. This is very interesting because it takes me back, okay? So in terms of finding your voice here, there's way more involved than just this lifetime in finding your voice. Either you experienced a fraction of this in childhood yourself, where you felt like it was like a prison, or someone has held you in a certain way, has treated you in a certain way that you felt you couldn't be yourself and you were really limited in your self-expression. And this goes back lifetimes, I want to say here. So it could be a good idea to look into past life regressions and to work on that a little bit if you haven't. If you have, then take this as confirmation, please. The imprisonment or slavery. I really feel you had a long way. I'm hearing it's been a long time coming in terms of, you know, feeling pressured into doing certain things or having to do certain things, and then coming back to yourself and realizing, no, I actually don't have to do these things. And here we go into the Divine Feminine things, into the more flowy and allowing and surrendering of things, because there's a huge difference, this one, no, between giving up and surrendering. And it can be so hard to surrender into something, especially if you're coming from a background like this, where you felt, yeah, where you were enslaved or imprisoned for whatever it was. But they're really highlighting the difference here and how hard it is to then trust into a relationship, also into the relationship with the divine. How do I express this? And I keep losing my thread here. This is so interesting. So it's almost like the connection is sparked, and then I'm losing it again, and then it's sparked, and then I'm losing it again. So I almost have it, and then I'm losing it again. So it can be much harder to surrender and to trust into a relationship of any kind, really, when you've been let down so hard in those past lifetimes, and when to surrender meant to give up your power, when the exact opposite here is actually the case. And when you surrender and give to the divine, you trust fully. So there's a whole journey in this for you here. What do we have for the divine feminine, please? Yes, okay. Ah, the mermaid and dolphins want to come in. So interesting. You might have gone periods of your life going in and out of certain spiritual states, or sometimes even being very disconnected. You were still obviously connected, but it just didn't come through to you. And some of you may have suffered from disconnecting from your body in a way, so dissociation. This is coming through here, which isn't surprising again, because the imprisonment or slavery from past lives, that can weigh really heavy and really strong. This one, yeah. Wow, to accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. This is so interesting because it ties right into the surrendering. Because if you did surrender in that situation, and I'm now getting your twin flame here, your divine counterpart involved as well, if you gave that to the heavens, to the divine, they would sort it out. But again, that can be very tricky to let go of control, or to let go of a tight grip, or a tighter grip than you would usually have if you didn't go through those experiences, I want to say. Not in that way. I'm seeing a lot of white birds, so white birds may be significant here. You might also have a really strong calling to the ocean, or to bodies of water in general. You've been praying for help, now accept that help. Like, get out of the way and let heaven help you. But for this, you need to surrender. More of this. Shall we look into the divine masculine? Not yet. Okay. What's next here, please? Yes. Oh, I haven't worked with this in a longer time. The Earth Warrior Oracle. Actually, let me clean up here a little bit so it doesn't get too cluttered over here with the cards, with all the decks that we're pulling out. This stays here. Here we go. You may have been recently going through a decluttering of sorts in your life for that exact same reason, to just make room for the new and let go of the old, which is a very reoccurring topic here in twin flame connections anyways, and also on the spiritual path. It's just something that reoccurs. What do we have here? What do we have there? This one, yeah. Lolo, stand in the light, 16. If I remember correctly, it's like the butterfly of the night, but I would have to look into that further. There's definitely something about the heart space and activation of the heart space in your case. I'm also getting the solar plexus activation here. Stand in the light. So it is very much the topic of being seen for who you are, being praised for who you are. Maybe you have, again, come from an environment where that wasn't the case, or where it feels very uncomfortable to stand in the limelight for obvious reasons. I'm also getting the topic of jealousy here popping up. That actually hurts my heart. You may have had a very jealous female around you. I could be picking up on a mother here. If so, I'm also getting the topic of narcissism. Narcissistic mothers can be really vicious when it comes to that. For some of you, that was a sister. Very, very jealous. And again, all that doesn't help in shining our light. It didn't help in make you want to shine your light. It made you want to dim your light. And it's a matter of your coming more and more into the effortlessness of your own being. And this is really, really important. Read this? No. The mountains could also be very important for you, and feathers. Yeah, I'm seeing the feather here again. The fact that I showed this, I think this is really relevant for some of you here. Let me keep getting things in order over here so we don't get too carried away with everything. Are we staying with the Divine Feminine still? Yes. Yes. Okay. Oopa. The Lightworker Oracle wants to come out. My throat seems to be getting better. That's interesting. Over time and over all the healing that you did, that must have gotten better, and you must have found your voice more and more. Because throughout the reading, since I'm picking up on your energies, it seems to become more and more effortless and not so much of a struggle to be heard or to even speak out, especially when we're wearing a lot of masks. That can be so exhausting over time. Of course, you needed them, like growing up. Through your life, but then when those drop, you literally feel it, and it feels so different. What else, please, for the Divine Feminine here? This one, yeah. Oh my goodness, Cosmic Heart, Cosmic Christ. Wow, that's liberation. Now I'm actually feeling it. This is incredible. Incredible. Where on their path are they? They're saying, hang on a minute, we're not there yet. Okay, so we'll wait with this. Again, the mountain and the ocean. Actually, we have that combined here now. The ocean and the mountain here. And you may be very connected to Christ consciousness indeed. And it has activated your heart so much, and your psychic abilities and your healer abilities, that connection. And here it is full blown. You know, when it was maybe in the past sporadically, like in and out of that connection with spirit, with Christ consciousness, or just like higher light, unconditional love, then now it is fully activated. It is there, full blown. And this is such freedom in this card, but I can tell like how much you were imprisoned, either by your own self, because this is not starting out through you, it's starting out through others that are treating you in a certain way, and then that imprisons you, but you are the one that keeps holding on to that story until you are the one that frees yourself. And that may very well be a huge topic, or may have been a huge topic here for you, to really free yourself, because to me the contrast couldn't be stronger. I'm thinking, you know, even when you're in prison and when you're meditating, you know, you get to this other state and you get all the answers that you need, and you're so nourished in those state. So ultimately, it may even be a feeling of, even if they did try to imprison me again, I would still be free, because you're holding on to your consciousness. You're now a real spiritual teacher, if you will, without any ego attached. It's just like you can teach others how to do certain things because you are in that state of consciousness, and because of the journey that you've traveled here. I need to say stop, go away. So you may indeed have been working on, and I'm feeling it in my solar plexus, which is where we often feel psychic attacks, to the point where it can actually make us throw up. It can be that strong, or cause other physical sensations and reactions. You are so strong and so powerful in this state, and some of you might not be quite there yet, but this state is incredible to be in, because the outside circumstances do no longer dictate who you are. And this is so amazing. The outside circumstances no longer dictate who you are, nor your state of being, because you are this. You found back to yourself and to your essence. To some of you, the Essenes really do play a role. They really do play a role. Okay, if you don't know who they are, look it up. Essenes. Read this? No. Okay. Okay, what else? Is this Divine Feminine? This one, yeah. we're not done yet with you. I keep wanting to jump ahead and wanting to have a look into the divine masculine here, but they're saying not yet, and there's a reason for it too. Sometimes we do really have to wait and be patient and be so focused on our own healing journey and filling our own cup first. This is so important, believe you me. Super important. But of course I understand the draw of a twin flame connection, and it can be brutal if you're feeling that connection so strongly, and the telepathy and whatever else they're going through, and it can be so much. But I'm feeling like once you're in that cosmic heart, cosmic Christ, once you've freed yourself and became in union with yourself, which is what this journey truly is about, is what they're saying, to become in union, to come in union within yourself, then the other one will be sparked. But by this time, you will no longer feel the same pull and need, that neediness to connect with him or her, divine masculine I'm talking about, because of your own healing. You're no longer in need of that, okay? This is a very interesting state to be in. All right, what do we have? This one, yes. Ooh, they may be communicating with you in dreams. You have dreams. It's beautiful. Very beautiful. Look. I'm getting dream interpretation, so maybe write down your dreams and see where they want to take you. The lily could be really important here for you, the lily. This really draws me into the butterfly. It's almost like the lily is becoming that butterfly, that Lolo here, that night butterfly that is so rare and so beautiful. So there's transformation that happens in the night time. A lot of us, especially when you're a light worker, if you want to identify as that or no, or whatever, you know, someone that does the spiritual work, that lives the spiritual path, we go astral traveling at night. We go out and do different things. So if you feel particularly worn out, just ask for a little break and be like, I don't want to go traveling tonight. I would like to stay in and be well rested. Okay, that can be really important. But I'm seeing like a freedom also in and through dreams. Because sometimes when we're really imprisoned, our dreams can circle around darker scenarios, like houses that keep reoccurring. The same environment, like darker environment that keeps us, or we're feeling like we're being followed in our dreams, we're being hunted down in our dreams. You may be having dreams like that. Ooh, I felt there was a strong resonance with someone out there. So they can be freeing, but they can also hold you captive. But please know that that's your subconscious talking to you. That's also your guides talking to you. Yeah, the butterfly wings are here too. But there's great freedom in that. It's so interesting because we have an ambivalent feeling here for you that I'm picking up on it. Because yes, I have the heaviness of some of those dreams. And then at the same time, I'm being given the butterfly wings that are so lofty and airy, you know, and so light. Truthfully, yet there are material. This is interesting because what material is so light that it can float in the air? So there's a great lightness in this also that may yet have to be discovered by you in some cases. Like that life isn't just a struggle, that it has a lot of lightness to it. To others of you, that could mean that you already discovered that lightness, and despite the heaviness of some of these things, you're managing to float through like the butterfly, because I'm literally feeling like the butterfly wings, how they're, you know, being carried in the wind, and it's just marvelous. It's beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Read this now. Okay. I like that we're organizing over here a little bit. This is really great. So you may have become super organized along your journey as well. Several areas of your life, you know how we're getting them in order, one after the other, and then the next year comes, let's say, and you're doing it again, and this time in more detail, and so forth, if you know what I mean. Yeah, this one, yeah. The hidden wisdom of the hidden realms is what we're working with right now. There's almost no space for the divine masculine anymore. That is so interesting. And I have a feeling this is because you're filling your own space with yourself, and hence there's almost no room for that anymore. You may be thinking of them less and less. You may be feeling their connection less and less. Every once in a while still, yes, but it's more from their side than it is from yours. because they're not quite where you are, okay? But we're getting there because I still want to have a quick sneak peek into where they are on their journey. But you might not be even interested in that, so we'll see where this goes. All right, let me see. This one, yes. Ooh, wow, that's interesting. The Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance, higher knowing. Look at this. Wow. This looks like a ritual. Some of you may have been doing rituals to free yourself, and I'm getting the owl now. Okay, that's interesting because we do have that indeed on the messenger oracle here. Remember the one where I showed you with the woman? There's the owl. I mean, it's screaming at us, and what I didn't see at first is right here, that owl. So you may have the owl as a spirit animal, and I'm immediately getting strong spiritual protection, and you may be able to call that in. And indeed, there's the butterfly again. Look, you're calling the transformation into existence, your own transformation. And with the Spirit Whisperer here, read this. Yes, we're reading one. With the Spirit Whisperer here, and she's almost getting wings, but you're almost getting wings here, but because you are willing it into existence, it's like that which you speak is coming in immediately. So there's a higher need to be more careful of what you're manifesting, what you're asking for, the vibration you're putting out onto this earth. You want to make sure that it's at a higher level most of the time. That does not mean bypassing. It does not mean not walking with the shadow, but this would be at the stage where shadow and light are going hand in hand, and where there's the understanding that those are together. Neither one is good or bad. They go together, shadow and light, and the incorporation of both of them, as well as the divine feminine, divine masculine, as we're seeing depicted here. It's like a dream state of sorts. Again, we have the topic of dreams coming up here. So do pay good attention to your dreams, because they're telling you something here. They're trying to really communicate with you. Those of you that don't hear them or see them or perceive them in some other way, watch out for your dreams. If you know how to communicate with spirit, with your guides, just please do so, because there are messages that want to come through. There's a lot of support that wants to come in, but that is only being able to come in once you find stillness. Okay, that's really important here. I feel this very strongly. Okay, Spirit Whisperer. Let me see, my dears. Oh, it's number 3. Oh, I didn't know that there were the numbers. Okay, that's interesting. 8. That makes it so much easier. There we go. Ooh, yes. As an ally, the Spirit Whisperer comes to you heralding the miraculous and the inspired. She whispers guidance from the divine through your higher senses so that you can hear the wisdom and know her love for you. She is committed to helping you intuit the next right action and steers you away from trouble. The Spirit Whisperer keeps you inspired to move forward, always knowing just in time the correct next step. She guides you to fulfill your highest purpose, which is what we were talking about here, right? When she appears, it's a sign of inspired ideas that with continual action lead to success. That's a very good omen. If your question is about a relationship, the Spirit Whisperer speaks of soul connections, past lives, and great learning through mutual mirroring. That's funny, because this is exactly what we're inquiring about. And I was also guided to bring these in later, the mirror cards, which are really helpful when it comes to relationships. So that is so interesting, mutual mirroring, and that's exactly what twin flames do. They're one and the same, and they're mirroring each other hardcore. And that's not so easy to deal with, because you will see your wildest shadow in the other one, and your worst fear, but also your greatest pleasure. It's unbelievable, those connections. She will whisper how long, how short, how deep, and how sweet the relationship can be. There were soul bargains made even before you both were born here, and an exploration is in order. You may move forward, but keep listening to the Spirit Whisperer for the lessons that the vulnerability of love brings. Exactly, because there's, when you're feeling so deeply and when you love so extremely deeply, it almost feels like unconditional love truly for the other, that you then get to explore within yourself. Oh, yes, that can create, you know, the feeling of vulnerability, but really, really hardcore, and that can make the runner run and the chaser chase, and not a healthy dynamic, but it's here to heal, like, both parties. Is that good? Yes, that's good. Awesome. Where, there they are. Just want to put them in the right thing again. You must have really worked a lot on yourself here since that connection happened. I'm not saying that you didn't before, but you've come a long way here. This one, yeah, the healing waters. And again, divine masculine is not even here. I might have to take a break. I don't know. We'll see how we go. We're already half an hour in and they did not show up yet. All right. Well, this is can be a longer journey. I need to say this, like twin flames. Those can be decades before they come into each other awareness again. It doesn't have to be. It really depends on your own individual journey. I highly recommend you feel into this and don't trust readings and really feel into this yourself, because this is your individual relationship that you have. And this isn't a private reading. This is a general reading. Although I feel like it could resonate with some of you like a private reading, because there's a reason why I felt so called to do this. This one, no. This one, yes. Stagnant waters. This one, no. This one, yes. Okay. We have stagnant waters. It's interesting because it ties right into the dreams card. And that's maybe why you needed some help here, because this is the feeling stuck card, a call for shifts, flow, and change. And I feel this is tying into dreams because it's almost like the same woman. And it's like some of you may have given up on that connection. Or when you're feeling into it, you may feel like there's no more connection, or it's not going to happen for you this lifetime, which is interesting. But you, regardless, will hit those stages at some point within this journey where we're like, I've given up on it. And this is actually a good thing, because then you start to focus really more on you. You're really letting go. In case you've been the chaser, then this is really your cue to let it go, because you have lost hope that you will come into union, but you also at the same token would focus more on your own development and on your own growth, personal and spiritual. And this is where it's at. This is actually the sweet spot. So I want to say you're not really stuck. This is a really good occurrence, like when you are at that point. And let your dreams here guide you, okay? Really, really important. And I'm getting a whole dream space sphere here. This is very interesting too. You know how dreams can show us things that we don't see in reality, because they're dream landscapes, right? So they're different than reality would be. And it's very interesting that they're coming up with so much imagery here of that. So it does hold something for you. There's definitely truth in that. It does know. Yeah, I did read this. Okay. I was just checking in with myself whether I read the other card that they said to read or not, and I did. Let's put this back in place. Now, what else do you have for the Divine Feminine here that she needs to know, he or she? This one, no. Yes. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, I haven't worked with these at all. It's talking to heaven. Do you want to work with us today? Yes. I'm very curious. I'm not familiar with these cards at all. I was wondering at what stage they would like to come in and talk to us or me. So let's see. They're beautiful. Look, they have like the gold lining. They're super beautiful. All right. Yeah, there's something about the evolution, and I'm also feeling like I'm triggered by this card, how, you know, things were very much planned out from the beginning, which is exactly what I picked up with your first card here with the Six of Cups, where it is super, super clear that this is something that needed to happen because you both agreed that it would happen this lifetime, and it serves both of your evolution. It really serves you so, so much. Interesting. They're saying there's no such thing as death. And this is super interesting as well because it's an evolution, it's a continuum. The way we're being taught about death and how separate they're trying to keep it from us is for a reason, because there is such power in the continuation of us as a soul, not in this human body, not in this form, but it keeps going afterwards, and that's that. In some cases, this could signify the death of this connection or the seeming death of this connection. There's no such thing as this connection dying, even if your divine counterpart is in a relationship or is married to a karmic partner or even a soulmate, or has children. It's still there, that connection. And I'm feeling someone just that hit you. I could feel the hit. And I understand, I feel you. Yet the connection can't be broken. It can be a harder thing to accept if that's the case, but it is there for a reason. Again, it triggers you back to yourself and back to your own internal work, okay? This is what needs to be said, but that connection is never severed, because this is such a strong, you're literally from the same soul, if that makes sense, okay? You're each other's twin. Read this now. Okay. Anything else for the Divine Feminine here? Anything else that the Divine Feminine needs to know at this time, or do we move on to the Divine Masculine? Move on to, now it's time. Now we're moving on to the Divine Masculine. So what I'll actually do is put away these cards so that I can make space over here. And actually, I'll be right back. All right, so I cleared the table over here a little bit so that we have a little bit of space for the Divine Masculine over here. And there's also, I put your cards a little bit to the other end. The mirror cards, and Mary Magdalene was actually jumping at me, which is very interesting because this is a very, Divine Feminine type style. However, we're talking about the Divine Masculine, so I thought that was super interesting. Maybe they need to do some work, much like you would have to do work on your divine internal masculine, they would have to do some work on their divine internal feminine. And the crystal that wants to come in for them is the clear quartz, okay? They might have had a very different idea of what masculinity looks like, okay? And they might have had a little bit of a distorted image there. In some cases, not just a little bit, but a lot. And also in terms of life, how 3D life may look like. There may be some distortion in terms of, might have been in terms of social media and picking up too much there on what they thought a happy life would look like, too much on materialism, that type of a focus. And so we'll see, we'll look into it. What do we have for the Divine Masculine here in this connection? What can you tell us? This one, no. This one, yes. Hanged Man. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. You may have been way, way, way ahead in this connection. It may still actually be way ahead, my dear Divine Feminine, because the Hanged Man is like they take in their sweet time. They actually have become comfortable in the discomfort. Of course, they're reaching enlightenment at some stage as well, but it just takes them a longer time than it would have you. For some reason, you seem to have been more evolved, especially spiritually, or you may have been the one that recognized that connection for what it was way, way before they even considered that or let it sink into their field, despite them having felt this connection also, but then being way too scared to acknowledge it and rather push it away, as they would have been doing with other feminines before. I want to say this is interesting. Let's keep it with the energies, okay? So Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. So there's the subject of emotional unavailability and the realness of things, also not being authentic, but in a different way. It's almost like still wanting to hold on to inauthenticity, if that makes sense, and to that image that they think or they thought was a good image to hold on to, I want to say. More? Yes. More of those? Yes. Okay. This one, yes. Ooh. Oh, I thought it was the Eight of Wands. And I was like, wow. And then here we go, like the the quick change. And that may still be coming, because since I perceived it as the Eight of Wands, it may be a really rapid awakening at some stage where it's like, boom, they're triggered into something, because I can feel that here. I can feel how long it took, but there was no action whatsoever. And it didn't look like anything was moving here, like with the stagnant waters, because they wouldn't move like out of their ways. But what I'm here to tell you is this created difficulties for them, like that viewing of things and of how the world works and how they perceived things to be and to play out created difficulties for them that they then tried to come out on top of, because I'm getting also the activation of the solar plexus on their end. So I'm wondering, and this is probably 18 plus, if there was a sexual connection that was established here too, or a physical connection, I should rather say, that was established too. Because if so, those can be extremely like intense, like nothing else. Yeah, that's a whole nother world. That's a whole nother world. And I'm seeing the remembrance of that, like the physical remembrance of that, of you. And that connection is so active. They may have tried to push it away so much, but that connection is just there. Like there's no such thing as death. It's like it's a continuum of occurrences in different forms. And that connection, yeah, he's tied to that connection. See that bond, like that is tied. That's around his wrist. It's there, and they may have tried to neglect it, but it is there. It is very much there. This one, yes. Ooh, Seven of Swords. That's a card, yeah, cheating yourself. Like this is a card of either they fooled around on you, if it ever came to that, if you ever were in a relationship with it. It may have just been a brief encounter, but so extremely intense. So they may have been going behind your back with other relationships to try to get back into that state and that belief system that they used to live in, but it just wasn't possible. So they're really cheating on themselves. They're really, making themselves believe certain things that are not true, and they know it. They knew it always, and in the depth of their being, they're quite aware of it, and they were at the time as well. But on a different level, I want to say, part of them was unconscious when it comes to that. They tried to distract themselves with either other people or with outside circumstances, with focusing on certain things that are more on a material level, but that didn't get them anywhere. Actually, it got them somewhere, because it's like when you keep running against the wall and keep running against the wall, then it gets you somewhere eventually, because it's the realization will set in of, oh, that might not be the right way. But they needed those experiences. Same if they're currently still involved with a karmic, let's say, or even with a soulmate. There's some processes that need to happen, and other contracts that they need to fulfill. They are on their journey here as well, just as you are. Your journeys may just look a little bit differently, like how you get there. This one, yes. The wheel. Things are in motion here. Things are in motion on the other side, I need to tell you. Things are definitely in motion. And with the Wheel of Fortune, they're working in everybody's favor. It's for the highest good of all, and best not get involved and into it, because they're working out. Like divine is working already within that connection, no matter. And that doesn't mean, I need to stress this again, divine, just because divine is working on it does not mean union necessarily. It can, it totally can. That's the point where I need you to feel into this yourself and be very real with yourself. What are you feeling about this? Is it time to let this go entirely? You'll still be connected. Or is it really time to maybe send some love that way? How are you feeling about it? Or does it not matter? Are you at that point already where it doesn't matter if you come into union, you really truly wish them all the best, and then you see how things unfold? But what you need to know here is that Divine is very much working on this end at the moment. More of those? No. Okay. This one, yes. Okay, Magdalene Oracle wants to come in now. This is a long reading. Man, wow, the Messenger. Yeah. But that's not the one. Now I'm sitting all the way over here to trying to make some room for them over there. Let me see what we have. What do we have here? This one, yes. Oh my God, they very much remember. To those of you that think they forgot about you, they most certainly did not. They know exactly by now what this is, who you are to them. And I'm getting the feeling of regretting of not knowing sooner, regretting of not being able to look into the subject matter sooner, but there was just too much build-up emotion on their end to be able to look at it. I'm really getting that runner, strong runner dynamic, just because of being scared to look at your own self in such a way. So him, Divine Masculine, you know, it's being afraid to look in the mirror and being afraid of what they would find there themselves. And but it's like they found themselves in you, but they weren't aware. They may have even been resentment like throughout that journey because they met you, like actual anger. Like, why did I meet them? I have to go all through all these processes. But guess what? So did you, because you met them. And that was quite purposeful here for sure. Read this now. Oh, this is so beautiful. And we have, you know, the red and the blue, so the feminine and the masculine here intertwined. In case you did have physical relationship with them, like they cannot put that out of their head. And neither could you for some time, I want to say. Your focus just has shifted so much through the own evolution that you've been through. And it's quite impressive here to see, actually, because there seems to be quite a bit of detachment from, you know, union. This is how you may have started out, you know, wanting to have union and hence having a reason to keep working and working, because you may have heard that twin flames can come together when they're healed enough, you know. And then stepping away from that though, and this is a process that happens automatically. It's not something that you can force into being, not with this, I want to say, because it's so honest and so truthful. It will very much keep you in line. It definitely will be. But that cosmic, some of you may have experienced Kundalini rising in that connection, and it's just activated the both of you so very much. But I'm getting a heartache with this, like on the Divine Masculine side. Again, not so much on the Divine Feminine side at the moment, for the reason that I believe you've healed yourself to a certain extent where this is no longer affecting you so much, you know, because again, it can be super brutal to go through these processes. And on this side, they're just behind. They're behind. This one, yeah, the mirror cards want to come in. But it doesn't leave you cold either, you know, probably when they're going through their processes and when they're feeling that pain of the connection. But you are kind of like in the state of been there, done that. I understand what you're going through. So, my loves, that is quite the journey. That is quite the journey, but so good and so worth it to go through it. By the way, if you would like to reach out to me for a private reading where we can actually go into this in detail, or maybe even a higher guidance coaching call, where we can work on specific topics, if you still feel the need here, reach out to universalpowertarot@gmail.com. Okay. I also got a new workshop out, Tools for Trauma. If you have a child or yourself or a partner or a friend suffers from anxiety, PTSD, CPTSD, I'll put the link down below for it. Okay. All right. Reality. 23, the number 20. Oh my God, I had that in my, I had number 23 in my head this morning with regards to a connection and how important that was. Like you may have either met on the 23rd or 23 kept popping up for you as a synchronistic occurrence. And I feel like reality is setting in for your Divine Masculine, that they cannot escape this connection indeed. They cannot. Like, this is so intertwined, and they may get the feeling of oneness, and now they're going through all the processes that you're going through, but I feel like maybe even in an accelerated way, maybe also because you've been paving the way here through all the work that you already put in here. It's unreal. Read this now. Whoo! You know, the sacred geometry, the purpose is coming in. It may just hit them all at once, like I was feeling earlier. I'm so strongly getting like third eye. They may experience a third eye opening at this time, where they're actually receiving their own first messages and understand certain things, but it's more like a whoop, it's like a whammy type of a situation. It's not something that is coming along soft, I feel like. It's more something that would hit them all of a sudden when the realization hits, when the reality actually sets in, and they're like, oh my God, oh my God. This one, yes. Oh wow, we're working with the Isis Oracle. This is so interesting. They have so many feminine cards here. So many feminine. And again, I feel like there's a misunderstanding, or used to be a misunderstanding, of what it means to be a man or a divine masculine. And that is represented with the Seven of Swords here. That there a shift that either still needs to happen or has already happened with their shift of reality, when reality finally set in, and when they were like, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Let me see, my sweethearts, and I really hope this is helpful, and I really hope this is giving you some clarity and is not keeping you stuck. I really wish to bring you some clarity here and to help you with this. And we're still going to have a look into the purpose. This one, yes. Scales of balance. Ancient Tantra of the soul. Scales are being balanced for sure, and spirit is here for it. They're working in their life really strongly to bring this into balance, this connection. It doesn't, again, this does not mean union necessarily, although it can mean union. But what this is specifically talking about is like the divine feminine and divine masculine within themselves also, because they're on that very same journey, you know, and to feel that union within you, and then to understand that that union can be achieved internally, is just such an incredible feeling. And I feel they're either on the way there, but they're strongly going through these processes, and they too are going through an heart opening, because I'm feeling my heart triggered right now, and all the pain that was caused to them, but also by them, because it was a continuation. And to realize this, that's a heavy thing for them to feel. And it's interesting because they're allowing me to tap into the masculine side of things, and how it's almost, all right, I don't want to put a label on this is more painful than what you went through, because it's not. But it has a different type of sensation for the reason that it's a masculine expression of that thing. It feels different to me when I'm tapping myself into it. Maybe for the reason that I'm more on the divine feminine side. Of course I have divine masculine inside as well, but I know what this feels like, so I'm used to it. And then to tap into the masculine side, it almost feels like, and maybe I'm even witnessing it from a divine feminine, the pain of the divine masculine. And it's a little bit heartbreaking to me, to be honest with you. This is really hitting a little bit differently. And the ancient Tantra of the soul is like something that is very, very, very ancient, right? And there's no such thing as death, is what they keep pointing out. There's no such thing as that this connection is ever severed. It is not. It is what it is, okay? Acknowledge it for what it is. And the souls know, even if there isn't a physical union, the souls are always in union, okay? Your souls are always there, your higher selves. You may have even at some stage made connection with his higher self. That can be sometimes really healing and a good idea if that's in line. No overstepping boundaries here, please. But just like if that's in line with the whole evolution, with this whole journey here, okay? And if they're saying yes to it too. Read this, no. You may have even been a high priestess in another life, and that connection wasn't allowed for the reason of, you know how there's certain restrictions on how sometimes in certain religions or spiritual expressions, it wasn't allowed to have connections or even to have physical relationships for the reason that you needed to contain your energy with yourself, and it just wasn't allowed. But I'm feeling for some of you there's a lifetime that is popping up where you two ran away. But it's like there's more involved than just this lifetime, okay? This does not end. This is a connection that stands, all right? Okay, but not an easy one. Not an easy one. I feel like in no lifetime, I shouldn't be saying that because that's not the truth, that it wasn't an easy one in no lifetime, because there's a reason why this connection is so well established and why you're feeling the way you're feeling on both ends. And the reason being because you've had so many lifetimes together, and indeed some where you were in union, but they were always, not always they're correcting me, but you also, that's it, you also had really tough lifetimes with this person. And again, if we're talking twin flame here truthfully, which I think this is, then this is a tough ass journey. Because some people romanticize this whole thing and like, oh, it's so nice and twin flame. I'm like, are you sure you want this? This is like a crazy connection, and it catapults you forward like nothing else. It's totally worth it, but it's just a complete acceleration of this, and therefore it's not for the faint of heart. Let me just put it that way. This one, yes. The loving words from Jesus. I feel like they may even wake up to the fact, the butterfly wing, to Christ consciousness, or just like, put it however you want. You know, to me, this is an energy. I feel very connected to Jeshua and to Christ consciousness here, and I have no more issues calling God, or, you know, unconditional love and light. I strongly believe, I strongly have faith in the upper realms and in that. And I feel like your divine counterpart here is waking up to that connection here, also to the divine, which is interesting because part of this was your journey as well, trusting and surrendering to the divine, right? But again, they still have some way to go here by the looks of it. What do we have for the divine masculine side of things, which this is for, right? Yes, okay. Womb space is popping up. This one, no. This one, yes. Whatsoever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. So they may have been surrendering to some sort of prayer, asking God for certain things, asking certain questions, I feel like, because I feel so drawn to that little kid here and to God, asking why things are the way they are. Because when we are in a twin flame connection, there are certain questions that are popping up because it doesn't make sense. It's unlike any other relationship you will ever experience, I want to say. And maybe I shouldn't say that because who knows what else is out there, right? But it's just unlike anything that you might have felt up to this point. That's more likely, yeah. And it doesn't make sense like a usual relationship would make sense. It does not make sense. It's completely out of the ordinary. Why else wouldn't you be able to let go of them for years or decades and still be having that strong connection? There's no way. So I'm feeling they're in touch. They're starting to be in touch with God, with divine energy, and starting to ask those questions, but more from an innocent, from their inner child perspective, because they too will have realized that they have some healing to do here. Yes. Yes, yes. All right. What else for the divine masculine? Do we pull more cards for them? Yes. Ooh, past lives. Ooh, that could be interesting. There's a past life card for them coming in as well. Curious to see what that is. And it's different in structure. It's interesting. Yours is more like this. It's almost like a flowy type of a thing versus theirs. Their side over here is more like a rectangle of sorts. It's really interesting. So more masculine, differently structured. And 23, they want me to point this out again. This one, no. But it fits into reality. But that's not what they want, is it? No. 23 seems to be significant here. And obviously the usual, this one, no. The usual things like 11, 11. This one, no. Keep shuffling. Okay, we'll keep shuffling. Some of them may not have opened up to the concept of past lives yet. This one, yes. Dude, oh my God, they're really feeling it. Love life. So they're definitely, whoa, man, they have the lovers, the love light. I'm so strongly feeling this. Wow, there was the intensity from their side is gonna amp up even more once they start to understand the lifetimes that you have had together. And part of this could be dreams. Some of these lifetimes may be revealed in dreams, like on both of your sides. I just saw 10011. You may see differently because I have my intro. That's going before that video. But there's like the intensity just amped up even more for them. So there's something that really comes into their awareness in terms of how long you two have been connected yet. And that goes way, 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 way back. Even before your time of imprisonment or slavery here, what I'm seeing, way, way, way back. And the scenes come into mind again, and how Jeshua, more of this, no. And how Jeshua, was it Mary Magdalene? I keep forgetting. I keep messing these stories up, guys. I can't remember, even though I read it and I know it probably somewhere in the back of my mind. But Jesus had a partner. And so they were practicing certain things together in terms of energy practices and really coming together into union. And I know some of you don't agree with this view, and that is totally fine. I've just seen certain things that resonated with me so strongly that brought me personally to that conclusion. If you think differently, that's your point of view. But I'm under the strong impression that they practiced Kundalini rising, that they practiced the immersion of those energies and then the creation of a third energy. And maybe in the form of a child, but also maybe in form of how to use that energy, because we're so much more. We're not just human beings. We're this energy body. We're the soul. There's so much more to us. And that awareness, I feel like, can be reflected in twin flame connections and other really, really strong soulful connections with lots of purpose, that they even practice certain things. The form that Tantra came up, the lovers came up, love life came up. That is really, really relevant here, because there's something that can be done with those types of energies. More for the divine masculine? No. Are you sure? I feel like there's missing something. There's more to come. They just need to journey more. Okay. That's where we are. Good. Now, what is the purpose of this connection? Can you give us more information now? Yes, let's start here. Yeah. The butterfly for life changes. This one. Again, the butterfly, that's interesting. We have a whole lot of butterfly imagery, but it's not surprising either, because that is the ultimate death and rebirth, or one of the symbols, and for transformation, you know, from the caterpillar to the butterfly. I mean, that is crazy. But that's exactly that transformation, you know, that we're going through here. The color blue, indigo blue might be relevant. This one, no. This one, yes. Realizations and epiphanies. Yeah. Is this the purpose? No, but there's something here about realization and epiphanies. Is this still divine masculine? No, on both sides. Yes. So on both sides, you will be having realizations and epiphanies. You may have had a couple more than your divine masculine here, but that, you know, everybody's growing in their own rate and in their own time. There's definitely something about the color blue, like that indigo blue, that's really drawing me in. That's third eye. And that strong epiphany that they're having at this time, or that they're going into very, very shortly. And Spirit is helping with this process so that they too may grow. And that makes seems to make your journey a little bit easier as well, because, you know, when you're so connected, despite being maybe a little bit detached from it, if you will, or like, oh yeah, this is indigo blue too, of course. Yes. you will still be feeling the processes that they're going through because you're connected as they would have felt yours to a certain extent, okay? So the moment they catch up a little bit more and the moment they're connected themselves and start to take responsibility, this is a massive step, and I feel like an exhale with that, actually. Yes, this is good. Because there will come a time in this connection when they start to catch up more and more, where you won't have to carry so much, I want to say, and where it's a lot more flowy, and you'll feel that point. You'll feel that point. Yes. Angel answers. All right, let's see. Man, I'm going to have to put away so many cards from 10,000 different decks. Oh my God. After this, I'm probably going to fall on the couch and not do anything for the rest of the day. Woo! Did not expect for it to be so long, but it's really good, I feel. This needs to be said and this needs to come out. So let's do it. And the feather just flipped onto a yellow side here, and that's so interesting. I'll show you in a second, because that card with the butterfly, this one, yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. This is amazing. Wow. All right. First of all, I want to show you, see this blue? And then you've got the yellow of that flower in there. So there's, again, to me, the divine feminine and the divine masculine that are off the same token, okay? And it's so misunderstood also when it comes to relationships and the neediness that people have in relationships, myself included, by the way. I'm working on it, you know, as a lot of us are that are here, that are watching this. But there's a stepping away from that and starting to give this to yourself. This is massive in this relationship. And you have, if you believe. And look at this gorgeous card. We have a Merkaba actually here in the middle. So the ability to travel indeed. And it's right in line with there is no such thing as death. And with that, I'm getting strong spiritual ascension vibes here. And this, I believe, is the purpose of this coming together, of this connection. We do have Kundalini rising. We do have the snakes up here. I don't know if you can pick up on them. They're right here. Totally angelically guided, spiritually guided. This is a high level spiritual connection, but it's also a high level spiritual connection internally within yourselves and within themselves. Wow. And the purpose is to raise the vibration on planet Earth and to bring a different understanding with your realization and your epiphanies, and then hence your life that is shifting out of a certain state, how it used to be before, because you're ahead, you're on the spear tip of evolution here, my dears, because of that connection, because of the work you're willing to put in and the work that they will be putting in still. It's really important to push that forward at this time. Extremely important for the world, for Earth, for humanity. It's super important because we're evolving as human beings, okay? We're absolutely evolving, and you're helping evolve. Both of you are helping evolve. That contract that you have together, that agreement, I should rather say, that agreement that you two made to come here and do this work here on Earth in this extreme density here is very commendable. So thank you for going into those spaces and healing yourselves in such a way. This goes for both of you. Your masculine may be watching this at a later point in time when they're ready, or maybe you identify as the masculine who's now just catching up to all of this, and you know what I'm talking about. Read this? No. Any other cards for this? This one? Yes. Any more cards after this? No. Okay, so this is going to be the last card. We're drawing from the Heart and Soul Oracle. Let me just put this away. Let's stick with it to not make too much mess over here. All right. Last card on this connection, please. What do you have for us? This one, yes. Of course. Okay, it says, if you want to experience a deeper level of love in your relationship, you must both consciously and willingly surrender to one another. That was a topic that came up for you here earlier, and where you have had a harder time than others possibly to surrender to people for that reason and to show your true self, because of that past life imprisonment here. But for them also, and the emotional unavailability that was present at first, if they want this, then same goes here. They must both consciously and willingly surrender to one another. Feel and honor the sacred within each other. Be vulnerable and give yourself up to love each and every moment. In doing so, you will unite in love. You will feel alive, reborn with each breath. One loving thought can create a world of infinite love. Super interesting, and it goes right on, there's no such thing as death. So this is a strong connection. And I saw, where did I, oh yes, 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 oh my god, I need to show you this. This is so cool, because I was like, I saw that drop on the third eye of the Divine Feminine in the Lover's card, and I just saw it again in the Heart and Soul Oracle. So wow, man, look at this. Look, look, look. Here, do you see that drop on the third eye? She has the same drop here as well. That is so cool. So massive, massive awakening. First on the Divine Feminine side, later on the Divine Masculine side. I'm seeing it here now with a star. That is very interesting. They're coming into theirs. That is wonderful. I love to see it. I want to thank you both for coming into this beautiful union. Maybe not in the physical, maybe in the physical, who knows? But this is really, really helpful and really meaningful to humanity and to everyone witnessing this. So thank you so much. I hope this was helpful and or insightful to you. Mwah! I'm going to say my goodbyes. Bye.